from the West Side. It is me, DCThePurpleDiva, and welcome to Not So Random Chat. Happy Monday, y'all. I hope everybody had a good Monday. It was a pretty crazy weekend on a lot of different fronts. We've had a huge spike, as expected, in individuals who are now positive with this coronavirus. And the crazy thing is that the majority of these people are between the ages of 18 and 35. And they, of course, are attributed it to the protests that have been going on. But I also attribute it to people walking around without putting on a freaking mask. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna say. I know people have all these different theories out there, about whether you should wear the mask because, or whether the virus even exists. Let me tell you something, okay? I'm not a medical professional, but my dad is. And it's real. And people need to start wearing these freaking masks and assume that everyone has it and is non-symptomatic. Hey, Tehran. Yeah, just think that everyone's non-symptomatic. Because now the United States is like the epicenter for this freaking disease, this virus. And it shouldn't be like that. And it's really on our government not being clear about the fact that wearing a mask would save lives and not really forcing people to wear the mask. It's just really frustrating. Hey, Zero. It's frustrating. I'm like, people just need to give it a break. Be safe. Wear the mask. Have multiple masks. Make masks. Don't go around people who decide they're not going to wear masks. Because, once again, somebody else, 2 more people on the White House staff are now positive. Because we have a fool in 45 who refuses to wear a mask or recommend wearing a mask. And then you guys know about the stupid ass jokes, that he made this weekend. Talking about there should be less testing. Are you? I in my head, I believe that his joke was the truth. That he really did tell them to pull back on testing so people wouldn't know how many people really have it. But now people are lackadaisical about it, and you have places like Arizona who have become hotspots. Shouts out to my friend Angel Munoz, who is in Arizona. And I know he's being safe. California, it's starting to go up, and we've been opening up slower than some other states. Florida is just a hotbed right now for it. So clearly, warmer temperatures do not stop this particular virus. But they did say that they didn't know if it would be affected by the heat, like, other viruses are. We now know for sure it's not, because people in Florida are still getting it. They're starting to escalate the numbers. And now, of course, New York is about to ban people coming from Florida to coming into the state of New York, because they're not trying to have their numbers go back up. They're just going into stage 2. And I saw videos of people in bars in California this weekend, not wearing, people out walking around and, not wearing masks.
Yeah.
I don't think we're ever going to get to how can we get to the numbers going down if people don't take safety precautions? I don't understand that. I know that it may seem like an imposition to wear a mask. I know it's getting hot, y'all. But you can wear the scarves. Those are a little lighter. If you don't want to wear the mask, something's better than nothing. But people who are just being defiant, then what they gonna do if they get sick? They gonna blame it on federal government? Hey, what's up, Darren? Darren, your president. What is wrong with him? Why is that man making jokes about coronavirus testing? That's not funny. Because you guys, they are not going to shut the country down. They're not going to shut businesses down again. Even though they may slow down opening up, more, but they're probably not going to shut down anything that's already open at this point. Unless, of course, cases of coronavirus happen in those establishments, then they're shut down. But it's not going to be like, they're not going to shut down the whole world. They're not going to shut down the whole country. But people have to take this seriously. I don't care what you think, where you think it came from. I don't care if you think it was man-made. I don't care if you think it's 5G that's causing it. Whatever you think, people are really getting sick. And whatever this is clearly airborne. And people are walking around who are asymptomatic. He's definitely bugging, Darren. I'm like, and then I think he's mad because people didn't show up at the rally this weekend. And I think they spammed RSVP the rally. They spammed it so that they would think that they were going to have all these people there, but the people had no intention of showing up. And then I heard that some people got sick. And you could see pictures of people who were actually at the rally They were not wearing masks. I mean, you know, and now they're thinking that perhaps what we were all thinking is that this may have been here as far back as December, when it was just being reported over in China. So then what does that mean? Does that mean that the US cases can be traced back to China, or did they originate somewhere else? They're looking into it. So again, they have no freaking idea what the source of it is, at least in this country. Now, if it was here before we had this influx of people coming from China, then where did they come from then? In the United States. And is it the same virus? Are there two different strains? Just things to think about while people are not wearing masks. The longer people don't wear the mask, and the longer that the numbers keep fluctuating up and down and around, it just means the longer that we're going to be in the situation where we're going to have to do the social distancing. I say this is going to go on for a while because people refuse to do it. So it's going to be in place for a while. You're not under stay-at-home orders anymore, but don't people know how to social distance? You don't know where all these other people been, what they've been doing for the last 3 months, whether they were, taking the proper precautions, and yet you feel free to go around people without a mask. You guys saw when I was on set this weekend, I had a mask. Now I was way away from other people, so I had the mask sitting next to me. I was nowhere near anybody else. I was like at least 20 to 30 feet away from everyone else when I was doing the filming without a mask. But then yesterday, when I did the live in the morning or in the early afternoon, and I was out, I had the mask on the whole time because I was in close proximity to other people because I was waiting for food at a restaurant. So I just, it's a hassle to wear the mask, but I don't want to get anything. And I'm doing other things other than just wearing a mask, Hey, Matt. But it's Americans, we are so hard-headed. And young Americans are really hard-headed because it's the people under age 35 that are now contributing to it. It's still hitting older people, it's still hitting our seniors, and people with weakened immune systems. But then you have people who don't necessarily have weakened immune systems who are getting it because, they're la about wearing a face shield, something. But I'm preaching to the choir. I know. Because I know that you guys are not the ones out there just walking around. Now, I do know some of my YouTube friends that do not wear masks. I know. But it's not anybody who's in the chat at this time. But I know some people who don't like to wear the mask and rebel against wearing the mask as much as they can. But I'm not one of them. Because if I go out and then bring something back to the house, then I infect everybody else in my house. You know, that's not going to be a fun time. Hey, Tone. How are you? Thanks for coming through. I haven't seen you in a minute. But these people are just, I don't know, maybe they think that they're invincible, that they're not going to catch anything, that it's not real. I mean, do they not believe? You know, and I'm not saying believe everything that the media tells you, but many of us have been affected by it. I lost an aunt. You know? One of my cousins lost his mother. So I believe that it's real. I don't believe that it's the end of the world, obviously, but it's definitely a plague-like virus because it's spread across the entire freaking planet. You know? And we pretty much know that this is not the last that we are going to see of it. And yes, it does appear that in most cases, most of the healthcare system is now catching up on how to, treat it. But we don't want to even think about getting to the point of overburdening our healthcare system because we know it's not the strongest in the world. Hey, Pam, how are you? Well, apparently there's people listening to him because there's plenty of people not wearing masks. Plenty of people not wearing masks. Meanwhile, we still have people getting shot in the streets, and because we had a huge killings over the weekend, people being injured in Chicago, aka Chirac. What is it? 6 people? I think 6 people dead, 9 people dead, and 57 people injured. Father's Day weekend. Juneteenth weekend. And yes, these were Black people. It's just crazy. And did you guys hear about the only black NASCAR driver, about them finding a noose on his car? Because y'all know he's sporting Black Lives Matter on his car, right? So now that would mean that somebody in NASCAR did that crap. Because, he asked them to get rid of the Confederate flag as a symbol of NASCAR. So now people are putting a noose on his car. Like, really? These people just don't understand. They are pushing. I think they want a riot, and we are thinking revolution. And they're not the same. Because a revolution can be on many, many levels. And we've already had the conversation about everyone who has no record and can pass a background check, making sure that you exercise your Second Amendment rights. I'm just saying, do it while you can. Do it while you can. Black people, do it while you can. But I know I'm just preaching to the choir, because I know we all are exercising our Second Amendment rights up in here. And we are protecting. Yeah, there is only one black NASCAR driver on the big circuit, and yeah, he looks like he's mixed, just like Colin Kaepernick, but it doesn't matter. He identifies as black. He's offended by the rebel flag. Asked them to get rid of it. NASCAR apparently is going to get rid of it, but then someone within NASCAR decides to do some crazy crap like this. They are just so in our face, y'all. They are so in our face right now. Racists see it as their last stand, even the cops. I guess so. But I do hear that they are trying to put through some national reforms, regardless of what 45 is thinking, because a clear message is being sent. Many of these people in Congress, I'll just say in Congress because I don't think the senators really care. So in Congress, many of these people, care about keeping their seats. And they know that we're voting. And many of us are going to be voting in November. And no, not everybody's terms are coming up, but some of them are going to be out of there. They trying to get rid of the LA County District Attorney, really LA City District Attorney, Jackie Lacey, the first Black woman to be district attorney, because they don't like that she hasn't convicted as many people as they think within the police department. And she's losing endorsements. They are like bleeding. She's bleeding endorsements. Even the mayor of LA is second guessing whether he's going to withdraw his endorsement for her. And let me just be real clear. I don't know if the person who is running against her will be the best person in there for Black people either. There's somebody from San Francisco. I don't know what this man did up in San Francisco. I don't also live in the city of LA, so I don't get to vote on that. But I got plenty of family that live in in the city. Hey, 1SP. Thank you so much. I mean, yeah, the jails in LA County are crowded. And they don't just have the ones in downtown LA too, because LA County has jails all out, like in the Santa Clarita Valley. They got them all over the county. I know. I used to think it was just in downtown LA, but I guess that's just really more the city. But they only stay there if they're in for 30 days. After 30 days, they ship them out to the other ones. But it's going to be, I don't, I guess I shouldn't be surprised by the audacity of, you know, the hate mongers to just continue to show us who they really are. Like, it's just crazy. Now that officer in Atlanta is now being charged with murder, homicide, for the death of Rashid. I think it's Rashid. And he's been fired. So, because I guess after they did the full examination of the full video, it was very, very clear that the force that he used was unnecessary. And then he also apparently, again, we keep getting these officers who have a pattern. They've done it before, and yet they are still allowed to be out there on the streets carrying a gun. I don't get it. But then I do. You know, clearly they need to look at things like that. You shouldn't be able to get second chances when you do things that you shouldn't be doing as a police officer. And yeah, they do need to redefine what we need police officers for. Because we all know that at one point in history, there were no police officers. That's a later invention, you know? So maybe we need to redefine it. Now, of course, you know, you would have the sheriffs and whatnot for little small towns and everything, but it wasn't like it is. So somewhere in there, we went wrong as a society. And in our going wrong, we did a disjustice to Black Americans because of some of the people who have been allowed to be in law enforcement. You know, I mean, I wasn't there when they were hosing down Black people in the South for peaceful protests, but my daddy and my mama were. They left the South, you know, and moved to DC, which I guess they thought was in the South, and they didn't think Maryland was either. But we found out differently anyway. But they went to what they thought was North, so we wouldn't have to deal with the stuff that they had to deal with pre-segregation. you know, but we're still, you know, dealing with some of the same things now. You know, and many people think that we shouldn't be, but the way that these people act is taught. You know, nobody's born a racist. Nobody's born hating another race. You know, but many of us are born with the traumas that our ancestors dealt with because it's in our DNA. Unfortunately, at this point, you know, but we aren't slaves in the full sense of the word, and yet we are, because we're being limited. We're being treated differently when we're supposed to be free. And our men and women are being killed, thrown in jail for crimes that they didn't do, or being thrown into jail for crimes that they did do for much worse sentence than their white counterparts. And the prison system is not built to rehabilitate. As I stated before, I don't understand why the states now have privatized prisons. You know, so basically, you know, the owners of the prisons and their boards and everything, they the plantation owners, so to speak, who get the free labor of the prison population, which is predominantly people of color. It is what it is. We're 13% of the actual population in the country, and we're 60% of the people that are in the prison system. That's crazy. And we've had the difference sentences. Exactly. Yeah. You get one sentence if you have the actual cocaine powder, and crack is considered differently. Well, that's what they did with you know, back in the 80s when the crack epidemic was going on. You know, you were seen as a criminal. But now that they're all strung out on opioids and, you know, and meth and all these other things, well, now they need to go to rehab. We need to rehab. They're not seen as criminals. How's that? Because they'll still stuff from you the same as the crackhead would. Same behaviors. Only difference is that they're not black. I'm trying to get monetized. I'm really on that 1SP. I'm grinding. I still haven't hit that 3,000 hours. So once I get to 3,000, it'll be so much easier because it'll only be like 1,000 hours left. But yeah, but I keep putting out content. I'm going around trying to build my channel back up as far as subscribers, because I lost some subscribers because I think some people got their channels taken away, and and then how YouTube purges, they'll purge if people haven't. So I haven't lost a whole bunch of subscribers. It's probably people that haven't posted anything. So if you don't post anything, why would I go to your channel? There's nothing new. Yeah, I know. Yeah, and I watched all my live streams. Well, I watched my live streams up until May on my other channel. And I've had a few friends that did my playlist. But like my live stream playlist takes like about 3 or 4 days. Literally. Because there's a couple of live streams, well, it probably takes about a week. Because there's a couple of live streams in there that are like 4 hours. Most of my live streams are only an hour. But I've done like almost 200. So that's like 200 hours. Maybe I should break them up into packs of 20 of 20 hours. I know a lot of people put a 20-hour live stream and get people to watch them. I'll do that probably when I get closer. But I have to figure out how to revamp my my list so that when people come to my page, my vlogs are the first thing that they see, and my live streams are at the bottom. They're all on the pills now. Nobody's doing crack. And most people can't afford cocaine, so not doing that either. But they can do those, they do the pills. And then a lot of those kids do like the mollies, which is the ecstasy and everything. You don't even know what's in that stuff. They don't even know what's in that stuff, and they do that crazy stuff. See, when I was younger, they smoked weed. They might do a tab of acid, which is LSD. That was the only thing I knew people to do. That's the only thing that I knew people to do back then. And mostly people just smoked weed if they were doing anything. I didn't know. Most of the people I knew weren't even going anywhere near crack. And one person, it was offered to me once, and I was like, I'm not doing that. Because I already knew what I saw it was doing to other people. Why would I do that? I had just got out of college. No. Hey, SB Sigma, how are you? Good morning. Maybe I was a scaredy cat or whatever, but I wasn't doing none of that stuff. I smoked some weed, when I was in college. And I think I tried the little asset tabs with one of my friends from high school. That was interesting. I'll just say that. You know, but I'm good. Oh, sure. Nah, I never did that. I knew what PCP smelled like because I had a few drug dealer boyfriends when I was younger. So I knew what that. So, you know, certain stuff I don't know. And then, you know, with the weed, I got to the point I'm like, this is making it, I would be paranoid. It would give me the munchies. And this is when I was in college. And so y'all, you know, I went to SC. And if you get munchies in the middle of the night in South Central, the place to go was to go to Fat Burgers. So I would drive my high behind from my house or my apartment, whichever it was at the time, and go get me a Fat Burger and some chili fries. That's what I would do. But I don't understand the pill popping. I don't understand the pill popping. You know, I mean, I know they're always chasing whatever it made them feel like the first time with a lot of the different things. So maybe that's why I don't understand it. But I mean, I've seen people that were strung out on crack and stuff back in the day, and it you see that same look on these people today. Only difference is they have their skin is a totally different color, and so society looks at them totally different. And now it's a problem, and they need, you know, to be rehabilitated. Whereas we've got our men and women are all locked up in jail when they were addicts too. And they did the things that addicts do. And instead of getting them help, you send them to prison. And we, in our country, has been locked up pretty much for 3 months. And when we started coming back out, all that stuff that was bottled up in all of these people, it came out too. And it just keeps going on and on. And to me, it's like all the bad cops are just popping up so we can see who they are. And maybe that's what needs to happen. They need to be flushed out right now. Flush them all out. I just don't want it to be at the expense of people's lives. It shouldn't take somebody being dead for you to figure out that somebody should not be a police officer. It shouldn't take that. And yet, and still, that's what it appears it does take. Because let's think about it. If those police officers had killed Rodney King and not just beat him up badly in 92, do you think that verdict would have gone the same way if he was a dead man? I don't know. It's hard to say. You know? Because Black lives have not mattered for so long. We have multiple famous people who have been murdered, and we don't know who killed them. And they haven't really tried to find out. Sam Cooke, Tupac Shakur, Notorious B.I.G. You know? They tell us who they say killed Malcolm. They tell us who they say killed Martin. We don't know. That's who they say did it. But with those other three, they didn't even bother to find out. It was just another black man. Especially back in the era when Sam Cooke was killed. They didn't like Sam Cooke because of his political stance. Oh, yeah. Oh, and he was very good friends with Muhammad Ali and Malcolm X. They did not like him being friends with people in the Nation of Islam. So Sam died. Sam was murdered. Right here in this area. Hey Terry. He was killed in Compton, California. He's killed here in LA. And then a white man stole all his money, stole his record company, stole everything, stole his legacy. Killed him again. And back then they didn't care. They didn't care. Sam Cooke was just another black man to them. White people didn't care about that man. And with Pac and Biggie, as far as they're concerned, we was killing our own, gang related. So that's the way they put it. But right now, I know people want to make us focus on the black on black crime, and yeah, that's going on. Black people are killing black people. But I promise you, not as many of us are killing each other as those of us who are being brutalized by police. It's not the same. And getting rid of the police brutality, in my opinion, and deciding whether we really need the police departments or not. Or maybe we need something else. Seriously. Because many police departments are corrupt, which is part of the problem. You know, LA had Rampart, which resulted in many convictions being overturned because of police corruption in LAPD. They've had corruption in Chicago PD. They've had corruption in New York. Definitely in DC, Atlanta, New Orleans, Dallas. Shall I go on? You know, that's one thing that needs to happen. And then 2, officers who know other officers are doing wrong should not feel that they're going to get threatened if they stand up. They need the crime to stay in business. They need crime to stay in business. Well, hey. We can deal with a lot of things. But we tired of them coming through our communities, coming and targeting, profiling. I mean, thankfully, here in LA, at least for the foreseeable future, they're not going to allow them to use that gang database that they put people in. Just randomly. You know, people who have never had any gang affiliation will get put in there by officers who are trying to cause problems. Trying to get brownie points. So now the database is corrupted and it's no longer viable. If it ever really was. But supposedly they're going to cut the funding to LAPD. I don't know. They still haven't said. They've said how much they're going to cut it, which is like $130 million. They're taking away from the LAPD. But they're not saying how they're going to do it. You know, nothing. You know, so that's as far as we know right now. And that's just one police department. There's a whole lot of police departments that are under the light right now, including Atlanta. My brother's in Atlanta. And let me just say, it's rough in Atlanta right now. It's rough in Atlanta. And I really don't know what it's really going to take to get that situation together. The mayor of Atlanta needs the support of the people to get through what's going on down there, because this is a really bad situation for them. It just is. You know, and it's showing a glaring problem within the Atlanta Police Department that, you know, many of us already knew was always there. I mean, it never went away. It just was under the surface, and now it's just been brought to the light again. And I was glad to not hear of a bunch of stuff going on in Atlanta this weekend, but I was sad to hear that so much went on in Chicago this weekend. You know, I'm just hoping that the cities that have large Black populations in them, that have had intense issues with police, and I'm speaking of places like Chicago, LA, Detroit, Atlanta, New York, Dallas, you know, that we don't have no craziness going on. But I think they're going to keep descending on these cities until things start to change. And I don't know how long it's going to take them to change, but I know people aren't tired of descending on the city. And clearly, some of them don't care if they're being safe about it. I don't have a problem with people exercising, freedom of speech. I'm just saying be safe about it. We don't want you to get sick out there, trying to fight for freedom and, against police brutality. Honestly, we don't. Well, see, the thing is that's what I'm saying. Police departments started to be established as cities came into being, really. I just think we really need to redefine what they're about. I would really I think I'm going to start to do some studying on the history of law enforcement, of how it came to be and what its original purpose was, just for curiosity purposes. I'm going to start looking that up. And I'm going to bring it back to y'all, what I find. And we'll discuss it in one of these lives. They were created to specifically to stop uprisings against their violence towards us. Well, I'm going to have to do some deep digging. I'm sure I won't have to dig very deep because I'm sure I'll be able to find some stuff out on the internet. I'm sure that I will, because I can't be the only one who wants to look into the history of law enforcement and how all of the different, because we have different types. We have our police departments within the cities and everything, but then you also have federal police, state police. So it's all of that within our country. And then it will be interesting to look at how it's handled in other countries. Because to me, police is a European, type of establishment. That's what I think. I could be wrong, but I think it's Western. The slavery community. Okay, I'm going to go look that up. Well, see, that's what I'm saying. That's what I was saying, Matt. Is this that now they are seeing that we may have had cases here in the United States as far back as the beginning, like in early December, which was around the same time that it was first found supposedly in China. But I still think that it was around much earlier. That's my belief. But let me come on, because I see that I'm at my hour and I got to be on I have to be up early tomorrow because I have to get off work early tomorrow to be on set to do this scene in the movie. Hold on, let me come on. David wants to come over. Come on. Come on over. Come on. He wants to come say hi. All right. And here comes David. See, you got a haircut, y'all. Now he looks like a little boy again. Say hi to everybody.
Hey,
say hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
All right. Okay. All right.
No.
Yeah, he got a haircut. Today was his first day back. He wasn't here yesterday when I came on, or the day before. He's with his dad all weekend long, guys. So thank y'all for coming through. I'm going to look that book up, Terry. I'm going to look that one up. The Slavery Community. But thank you guys for coming through. I probably won't be on tomorrow unless I do a pop-up during the day. Because tomorrow night I'm going to be filming and I honestly don't know how long it's going to take. So we're starting at like 6:30, which is 9:30 East Coast time. But I don't know. We may be there till for a couple hours. Hope we aren't, but in case we are, I'm not planning on coming on live tomorrow night. So I'll probably see you guys. If I don't do the daytime pop up tomorrow, I'll probably see you guys on Wednesday. But I may release a vlog between now and then. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, guys, I'll see you guys soon. And I'll see y'all out in these YouTube streets. Thank you, everybody, for coming through. I appreciate you all for being here. Until the next time on Not So Random Chat, I hope you guys peace and blessings from the West Side. I will see you guys. Bye, everybody.